Whether it's football fields or basketball courts, still got my mind on sports. Freshest kicks and flashiest shorts, still got my mind on sports. Mind on sports.
Good evening. Welcome to My Mind on Sports right here on Bliss.fm. Oh my goodness.
You're wrong.
Hey, this is not My Mind on Sports. I told y'all we still try to get used to this.
Loud and wrong.
This is a collaboration by My Mind on Sports and Finest Magazine called The Focus. This is the second official episode. I told y'all, man, it's hard to break old habits.
It is.
But we are very happy to say that this is The Focus. So welcome to the second episode of The Focus. We got a lot in store for you guys tonight. Can't wait to talk to you about it. Here with the wonderful Octavia Wyatt. So we're going to be nice today.
Hello. Yes, let's be nice.
We're going to try something new.
Yes.
Cameras are on, so we'll treat each other with some type of respect.
Thank you.
And decorum.
Yes.
At least to start.
For now. See?
You know, we just said old habits die hard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But how was your weekend?
It was good. I got a lot of sleep.
That's never a bad thing.
Not at all. It's the best part of the weekend.
It's never a bad thing. I had a nice quiet weekend, I guess. Not too bad. Got to Maryland to see, their season opener. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Sports has just been interesting.
Yeah.
As always. There's a lot to talk about.
A week goes by and it's so much news.
It feels like it's not even possible for that much to happen in 7 days.
But it does.
It definitely does. And again, if this is your first time tuning into The Focus, we want you to do us a quick favor. Follow us across social media. That's on Twitter and Instagram. On Twitter, it's The Focus _TV. On Instagram, it's all together just The Focus TV. While you're at it, also follow Finest Mag, a.k.a. Finest Magazine, and My Mind on Sports. And that's just at My Mind on Sports all together. I'm so upset with myself that I flubbed the opening, though. Like that
just
really
follow
happened.
Everything.
You said just follow everything?
Just follow everything.
All right, so we're going to get through this, even though, I didn't know the new show title, which is brand new.
We're still a work in progress, people.
But we had fun last week. We enjoyed the new format, what we would like for you guys to do. Octavia, tell them why we want them to interact.
Well, we want you guys to interact, of course, because I don't want to just talk to Wilson all day.
And I definitely don't just want to talk to
Octavia. To me all day. We want to talk to you guys. We want to know what's going on, how you feel about certain topics and sports things that are going on. We want you guys to be interactive with us. So definitely hit us with any type of questions that you have sports related, please.
Emphasis on what?
Sports related. Let's make sure that we draw that line there. We do sometimes go outside of that, but we want to keep it there, people.
Not to say that we don't care, but we're just letting you know that this forum is specifically
right now,
for your sports related issues.
Right now.
I mean, depending on what fan of a team you are, no matter what sport, you had a great weekend, a horrible weekend, or you're just really going through it and you're waiting for next year.
Pretty much, yeah. It gets like that sometimes in this sports realm, so it definitely does. So, but we want to stay in the parameters of the sports world. Thank you in advance. All
right, so without further ado, I'd like to announce or present you all.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, that was like, we're gonna try it again. We're gonna give you another try at it. I didn't know you were gonna do that, so if you're gonna do it, I need you to commit to it.
Okay, I got you.
So we'll try it again. Without further ado, we'd like to announce the newest issue of Finest Magazine.
Dun, 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 dun.
I think that was believable.
Yeah,
I think we could go with that.
But
in this issue, this is issue number 13, titled The Season Preview. On the cover, if you don't know who it is H.D. Woodson Jr. guard, Kyon Boyd. He's ranked 45th overall in the 2018 class by ESPN. As we just said, it has just been released today. Please go to finestmag.com to check it out. Check out what this issue is for, is to give you an idea who to keep an eye on in local and high school college hoops in this area, both on the men's and the women's side this season, as well as a special feature on Bishop McNamara, assistant coach, and DC Blue Devils 17 and under, Brian Inge. There's also a very cool feature on the George Washington's women's basketball strength and conditioning coach, Brandy Walker. So I need you guys to go and check that out right now. Again, all you have to do is go to finestmag.com. That's one half of the collaboration that's come together that makes this no longer my Modern Sports on Bliss event, but the focus.
Yes.
So we need you guys to go check that out. Please support all three entities.
Definitely.
The collab and the two separate ones all together. We're all one big family. We all cover different things. The Finest magazine is all about hoops on each and every level. Both men's, women's, boys, girls, what have you. Cardell Dudley has you covered. We're a little bit different. If you guys know about Finest, you don't know about us. We're more of a different type of outlet where we try to cover a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Yes.
A little bit of everything. So in some instances, we share interest with Finest magazine, but to the depth that they go, we're not there. We are not there, and that's what makes them so wonderful. So please go check out issue number 13, the season preview. And shout out to Kion Boyd for making the cover.
Yeah, and shout out to Brandy Walker. I personally know her, and that's
okay.
Like, honest. That's
so you want to tell us more about Brandy Walker?
Well, I mean, just from
real quick, plug. Go ahead.
It's funny. I haven't seen her in a long time, but her dad actually used to be, well, he probably still is a referee in the area for high school and middle school. And him and my dad are close. And I played against her younger sister. And, they've been into sports their entire lives. Soccer, basketball, you name it, they've done it. So that's a big shout out to her for, of course, I did know that she was a strength and conditioning coach out there at GW. And it's a good look for somebody, especially from the area. So kudos to her and shout out to Finest Magazine for, covering that because, there aren't a lot of women strength and conditioning coaches out there. So
regardless of it's men's or women's basketball.
Correct. It's just not a lot of them. So it's nice to see some spotlight on some people, women that do things in the in the sports world as well as men, and everybody from the area because in this area we have a lot of talented people when it comes
Very
to sports.
Much
so the fact that there's somewhere that you can go where you can keep up with the people that are in your area that's down the street from you that you may not even known about. Like I didn't even know that she had this. I was like, look, I know her. Hey girl, so that's a big look. So congrats to her and shout out to Finest Mags for doing that.
Okay, Cardell Dudley.
Yeah.
Okay, the CEO of Finest Mag. You've impressed Octavia, so that's no small feat. And I wish I could say you can't. I love this. And there's also I wish I could say was surprised that there's somebody I just mentioned that you actually
here we
knew.
go.
So I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
You should be very surprised.
I'm not. Also, coming up later in the show, we need you all to do this, please, now, early in the show. Later on, we are going to be, we would like to interact with you guys. We want you to tweet us. We want to talk with you guys. We're going to have a nice little section later on in the show where we're going to try to talk with you guys. Should be fun. Share some of your tweets. Those tweets that we just mentioned, as long as they're
in the realm of sports.
Sports related.
Please.
We will happily share them, happily discuss them. So we can't wait. Cardell, the reason he's not here tonight, he's in the gym. That's where Finest Magazine spends all their time. That's why there's outstanding credibility to their work because that's where they are at all times. They're in the gym. So in a short while, he will be calling in. We will be talking with him to see how things are going tonight. Then as far as our guest tonight, in case you didn't know, you don't follow us all. You're not following The Focus yet on social media.
Do it
I only
now.
mess up once. Say what?
Do it now.
Do it now. We're going to have head coach Brian Johnson from PG Community College basketball team, the head coach. We're going to have him call in and talk to us a little bit about how the start. They already started their season. If you watched last week's show, then you definitely would have got a chance to see some of the highlights from it.
Yeah.
Which were awesome highlights, by the way. If you want to see more or see them in their entirety, please head to finestmag.com. We'd also going to have one of our guys that have been, he used to come on our old show when it was called My Model Sports, Manny Benton he used to be at Pro Players Insiders. Now he's at Breaking Burgundy, and he also started his own podcast, which is awesome. You don't just have to be a Redskins fan, literally just a football fan. Definitely check out the Manny Benton Show. It's awesome. He does a lot of film breakdowns. You will definitely learn something. So I'm going to need you guys to do that when you get a chance, to give them a follow. Check that out. And we can't wait for him to come on tonight. And if you're a Redskins fan, NFC East fan, just a football fan, you have some questions, tweet us, and we will do our best to ask both of our guests and get back to you. And we can't wait for that. Quick score update. Georgetown, Maryland.
Yes, this is a game.
Man, college basketball's here already.
I'm
and
so excited.
Personally, I'm going through it, but we'll talk about that later because I think Eddie said he's going to attack me. Eddie said he is
that going to be in Petty Eddie's rent today?
Well, he already gave me like a warning, so I'm cool on it. I'm not going to be surprised.
Okay.
When it happens, I will be okay. I will do my best to get through it. It's going to be painful. He told me it's at the end of his rant.
Okay, so it closes out the show.
Yeah, so
That's the
he's going to close out the show and my feelings.
Oh God.
All at the same time. All at one time. So definitely looking forward to that. And also he started his Twitter account. So Petty Eddie is officially real.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm so excited.
It is officially real, Octavia. We have our first caller for the night. Good evening. What's going on?
How's it going? It's Brian Johnson over at Prince George Community College.
How you doing, Coach Johnson? Thank you so much for calling in. We truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. How's everything going on your end?
Oh, man, we're doing wonderful. It's the second episode of the show. I just now learned the name of it since I messed up when we opened. So I finally understood after typing the focus very many times over the past 2 weeks that it is indeed the focus, not my amount of sports. So now that I got that covered, we are very happy to have you on tonight, man.
No, I appreciate it, and I wish you guys, I know you guys are going to do well over there. I wish you all great success. So
we truly appreciate it, man. We wish you the same thing. You already started your season.
Yeah, we did. We're 2-1 right now. We went down to Sand Hills Community College down there. We had a tournament down there. We wound up going 1-1, and we're 2-1, and we got 2 really big games this weekend. And guys are coming along together on and off the court, and it's really something special to be a part of. So.
Okay, so we have a few questions for you tonight. Octavia and I, we're going to start with Cardell's questions, and then we'll add in a few here and there, and hopefully we'll get some Twitter questions. So we'll see what happens on that front. We will definitely alert you. But the first, what's the biggest misconception about JUCO? To talk about, because a lot of people act like it's 3 totally different worlds, and it's still the same sport. Yet and still, those same people act surprised when we see some of those JUCO transfers once they leave that level, go to mid-majors or sometimes high majors and really contribute. So if you don't mind taking the time to just educate some of our listeners and or viewers that don't know too much about the JUCO level.
I would say the misconception of JUCO is that it's from the athletic standpoint is that guys are not as talented or not as physically gifted on the basketball front as Division I, Division II, or Division III basketball players. We got some really good basketball in the state, in Maryland, JUCO. I mean, I'm in, and I'll say this loud and clear, I'm in the best county across America when it comes to basketball. So it's really imperative for us to help support our community with the guys that we have that are playing here. And from an educational standpoint, I think the misconception of junior college is that it's high school, that it's possibly like the 13th grade. But these guys are in college, they're taking college courses, and they're doing everything that a student athlete at any other university is doing. So they still have to go to class, they still have to practice, still have to do study hall hours. So it's tough. It's tough, and I can't speak on every other program in Maryland, but for these guys to get to this point in their basketball career, they had to be disciplined, and they had to show the right type of characteristics to be a part of my program in particular. So,
Okay. One, I wanted to tell you if this was some type of show or some type of pageant, that was one heck of an answer. Start off with, man. I just want to tell you it was one heck of an answer. Start off with, so that definitely tends in the question round. For you personally, being around the sport all your life, you had a successful playing career, both in high school and in college. First part of this question is, what lessons did you take from your playing days that helped you as a coach? And does that also help you get through to your players a little bit more sometimes than having a coach who's talking about it that not that they don't know it, but it's a little bit different when someone's done it before and they can walk it through and they have seen it through your eyes?
I would say, I mean, I would like to take credit for everything, but I think the most important thing, and you kind of mentioned it in terms of, being able to play. I can talk about it, but I think the most important thing in terms of being successful is on and off the court, and with these guys as well, just having the right people around you, and even though I can show one of my players, this is how you do it, or this is how you this, or this is how I studied hard and got through this class. But my assistants, and I think the power of them, because I can't do everything. The power of them just being a big contributor to these guys' success is allows me to kind of sit back a little bit and kind of examine the situation, and then they can help them. I got Coach West, who, the former head coach. I got Coach Bruce, who played at the Division I level at North Carolina A&T, and Coach Leon, who also played at the Division II level, who all these guys are basketball minds, and all these guys have had the same exact experience I've had. And I think that's important to kind of bring those people around, and so they can kind of teach and help, and they might be able to have a stronger connection than I have with the kid. So I think that helps in terms of allowing these guys to learn and to grow from one another as well as from the coaches.
Okay, so you've already mentioned how important a role your assistants play. That being said, it's not hard for me to imagine that they've played a big role in the next question I'm about to ask you. How tough is it? We've seen this no matter the level of sports, no matter what sport it is. When a new coach comes in, and it, it's one thing to come in and take over a program, but it takes a while for it to actually become yours. How do you go about that process of molding the program to get it to the point where it's truly yours, where it's to your liking?
I think it takes time. I've talked to, obviously we all have mentors, but the one thing I will say, taking Miss Joanne Taylor, who's our athletic director, and she gave me the opportunity to be the head of this program. One thing I will say, the community has been phenomenal, and I think I feel like this is my program. When we've done our just due in helping every single kid that comes to this program get to the next level. So, we're in the beginning stages of building this program, and we're not complete, by any means. But, we're doing our best to make sure that these kids understand this is an opportunity for you to be at Prince George's Community College, and then use this opportunity to get to your next college or next university. And once those kids that we deal with, they're able to do that, then I'll feel like, okay, this is my program. Now it's running like a machine. And, we'll be able to do that, and I hope we're able to do that in the next 1 or 2 years.
Okay, Octavia.
Okay, yeah, so we definitely understand. Of course, you have to get your program up and running, the way that you want it to work. So my question is just, so when you're evaluating a player, and, what are those special things that you look for in those players to know that, that they have something that can take them to the next level?
Oh, that's a great question. So, and a lot of people will probably call me crazy, but I don't recruit talent when I tell people this. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I don't recruit talent. I recruit people. So I honestly believe that we have some good kids who are talented, but it takes the whole person for me to have a kid and recruit. I love the way. Or I like the way to see how he talks to his teammates. I like to see how he interacts with his parents. We do in-home visits, which I was told today that's pretty old school. So we do in-home visits. I like to sit down with the parents. I like to sit down with the coaches. Because I want to know the type of person that I'm bringing here. And everybody can shoot, everybody can pass, everybody can dribble. But at the end of the day, can that student athlete, can he better himself to get to that next level? Can he better himself? So that's the type of things I look for, which is more so off the court behavior rather than on the court. Now, don't get me wrong, we do want talented basketball players. We're not just taking anybody, but it has to be a total package, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely agree wholeheartedly because I'm one of those people, too, that you have to have a good background as well. And it's good to hear that, you sit down with family members and kind of figure out exactly how the players are. So also, you've already stated that you guys right now are 2-1. So how pleased are you right now with how your season has started?
I'm happy. I'm not 100% happy. But, no.
That sounds like Coach speak.
But I'm definitely happy with how they competed. And we have a long way to go. We're 2-1. Be nice to be 3-0. But I tell these guys all the time. We have our slogan FOA, which is for one another. And as long as these guys are taking care of each other, as long as these guys are staying eligible, the wins and losses will come. The wins will come as long as these guys are doing their best on and off the court. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for the community to embrace what we're doing, and for the people that showed up for our first game. I mean, it was amazing. So it was great to see the outpour of support. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a great. I personally want to say that it's great to hear things like that and to know that PG, is going in the right direction. Just, my brother actually used to play at PG for a couple of years, and my old AAU coach used to coach the girls out there. So it's great to hear that the direction of the program is going in a good way.
Absolutely. And Miss Joanne, she's done a great job of they won the region the last 3 out of 4 years. Mm-hmm. So. Just building on that success is something that we definitely want to keep going and possibly surpass. So.
All right, lastly, Coach Johnson, before we let you go, again, thank you so much for your time. And we wish you the best of luck this season. I already know Cardell is going to keep us updated with how you guys are doing. But lastly, I think you covered everything, Coach, but what are your expectations for this season, if you don't mind?
My expectations is to academically for everybody to be where they need to be, whether they're a freshman or a sophomore. Hopefully, get them to graduate or have enough credits to transfer to another school or university, college, university. Athletically, our expectations is that to win. I'll be sitting here and I'll be lying to you if I say we didn't want to win, but if we continue to do what we need to do, I think the wins and losses will take care of itself, and if we can possibly surpass the region and make it to the districts and win the districts and get to the nationals, it'd be great. But we just gonna take every game like we're 1-0 and continue to build. So
thank you so much, Coach Johnson. Again, the best to you and your team this year. We'll try to check back in with you and your guys a little bit later this year. And thank you so much for your time, man. We truly appreciate it.
No, thank you, and I enjoyed it, and I'll continue to listen to you guys, and I appreciate you guys having me on for your second episode. So I feel honored.
Man, we're honored to have you. You made history, the second episode of The Focus. You were like officially, technically, like right now, since we don't count Petty Eddie, you're the first guest, man. So thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it.
You have a good one, man.
All right, take care.
All right, fun times. Definitely enjoyed talking with Coach Brian Johnson from PGCC basketball. Wish him the best this season. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more basketball, still staying locally, just some other schools. So I think that should be fun, and I guess we might also have an update for you from that Georgetown, Maryland game.
Yeah,
that might not be too bad either. But you're listening to The Focus. You're also watching The Focus TV right here on Blizz.fm.
I'm dreaming and hoping, no waiting, grinding till I'm in conversation. Know that I'm destined for greatness, living a dream.
I'm dreaming and hoping, no waiting, grinding till I'm in conversation. Know that I'm destined for greatness, living a dream.
From the beginning, all I had was some ambition. Let my thoughts flow through the pen and paper with hopes that they listen. But attention was never gave. Worked hard, felt slave to the industry. The enemy, my enemy became focused on making hits. I lost myself. The pressure started started to hit, nearly off myself. When you busy trying to fit in, you forget to stand out. They wanna be in the circles, you make the circle, they stand round. The exact difference between a starter and star. They just play the position, we reinventing the laws. Just dreaming and hoping, no waiting, grinding till I'm in conversation. Know that I'm destined for greatness, living a dream.
Got a lot to get.
On the table,
Not much to lose.
right till I'm not able.
Welcome back. You're listening and viewing. I keep this is still
This
so
is
new.
the focus.
See, I told you got this down. I'm still struggling.
Welcome
right now.
back to the focus, everybody.
Oh, so now we want to be assertive. The camera goes on, and now we want to be assertive. I've been trying to get her to, you know what? We're not going to do that today.
We're not.
We're not going to do that today.
We are not.
Welcome back to The Focus, as my wonderful co-host already stated. Then let's jump into GW Hoops. Again, Finest Mag doing what they do, covering both the men's and women's team here. So we're going to start. They raised their NIT banner from last season in their season opener. George Washington, they're 1-0 now, as we said, the season opener. They defeated Younes 75-71. GW was led by forward Tyler Kavanaugh, 24 points. He went 6 for 12 from the floor, 3 of 7 from beyond the arc, and 9 of 9 from the free throw line. Couple that with 10 rebounds, and that was a great double-double. While his teammate Utah Watanabe added 18 points and 6 rebounds, and Younes was led by senior forward Bakari Copeland with 21 points and 4 rebounds. It was a great start to the season for the GW men's team. Moving on from the men's, I want to slide over to the GW women's team. Jordan Muhammad from the Tigers, she did what she could for Princeton, but it just wasn't enough as GW got their first win of the season, 56-45, in a matchup of former tournament teams. Senior guard Hannah, I'm going to butcher your last name, Scalable, finished 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, also 5 steals, so she had one heck of a night. In a strong all-around effort, while forwards Kelly Prange and Lexi Martins added 11 points and 8 points, along with 8 rebounds, respectively. Princeton was led, as we said, by sophomore guard Jordan Muhammad, who posted a game-high 12 points on 4-7 shooting from three-point range. So she got it going from deep. It just wasn't enough for her team. She obviously needed just a little bit more help. But not a bad night to get things started. It's a new coaching staff over there. Former UConn great Jen Rosati is taking over at GW. So they're going to want to start the year. Not bad at all. Octavia, if you want to let us know where we're moving to next.
So next, we're going to talk a little bit more basketball, of course, but we're going to take it to the high school level. So there is a Slam Dunk to the Beach has announced their 2016 schedule and teams participating at the prestigious high school event. Local teams that are taking part are Bishop McNamara from Maryland, Baltimore Poly from, of course, Baltimore, Maryland, and Paul VI from Virginia, as well as Eleanor Roosevelt from Maryland. 5 of the top 25 boys high school basketball teams in the country will put on a show on the court at the Slam to the Dunk Beach 2016. The tournament will also feature for the first time an international team. The showcase will be at Cape Henlopen High School, December 27th through the 29th. Wednesday, the Delaware Sports Commission announced Slam Dunk's out-of-state slate, which includes multiple teams in the USA Today 2016-17 Super 25 preseason boys basketball and rankings. Some of the teams include Patrick School from Elizabeth, New Jersey, Weston from Westchester, Pennsylvania, Gray Collegiate from Columbia, South Carolina, St. Benedict's Prep from Newark, New Jersey, and Newman Goretti from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The iconic tournament has hosted many future NBA college superstars over the years, including LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Dwight Howard, and Carmelo Anthony.
Those aren't too many bad names, but if everybody could see, there was a huge smile when she said Carmelo, but I'm going to go back to what I was doing.
Oh, my goodness. The 2016 event will once again have numerous participants from ESPN's top-rated players from each graduating class. Mohamed Baba from Westtown, Jalik Felton from Gray Collegiate, Quade Green from Newman Goretti, Brandon Randolph from Westtown, Nick Richards from Patrick School, and Isaiah Washington from St. Raymond. All are listed on the ESPN 100 rankings for high school seniors.
And when that happens, I'm sure there's going to be outstanding video coverage.
Yes, they need to make sure.
From Finest Mag, because we already know Cardell's going to be there.
Yeah.
Because if he was here for this part, which was the presser, something tells me I think he's going to be there for the actual event.
Yes.
Should be crazy.
Yeah, because, high school players nowadays,
they're not built the same.
They're not, and they have that athleticism where they're able to do crazy things like that. They have the athleticism and then just the will to just kind of try anything. So
Which is the scary part, depending on what side of it you're on.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they're willing to try anything and they have the athletic skill to do it, I can only imagine what it's going to come out looking like.
All right, so transitioning back to college hoops, talk about the Maryland women. They started their season. They had an exhibition season, which was just steamrolling, folks. They hosted UMass Lowell in their season opener. They got their rings from the Big Ten, being Big Ten champs, regular season champs again. For senior guard Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, the first thing she saw on that banner was the second round. That being said, find out why that's led to motivation for her this year in this video.
Started pretty quick. After that win ceremony, do you think that motivated you to kind of be extra aggressive, extra motivated, or was that just how you were planning on starting?
Yeah, we wanted to come out and set the tone early. We want to also set a standard. I mean, just going on, Coach said one of our game goals today was to just play Maryland basketball, was to defend, rebound, and run. I thought we did a good job early speeding them up, but we just got to make sure we sustain that for 40 minutes, not just off and on, taking plays off.
On that first possession, you hit a mid-range jumper. How important is it for you, being one of the stars from last year's team, to come out early and set the tone?
I think it's important. I thought that play was based off this execution. I thought we were really patient. I thought that's what we did very well throughout the course of the game. To piggyback off what Desiree said, like, this offense was flowing. We were playing off each other. We had a good feel for each other. The chemistry was good. We just got, like I said earlier, we got to be able to sustain that whole Maryland basketball theme of defense, rebound, and running.
And you guys talked about the banner earlier. Is it weird for you looking up at the banner and seeing Big Ten champions and then second round?
Yeah, that was actually the first thing I seen. Like, my eyes went right to the second round. So, I mean, that's, for me, that's definitely some motivation for this year. So I remember how I felt after that game this year, and that's something I don't want our freshmen or the rest of our team to feel this year.
And that's how Shatori Walker-Kimbrough feels to start this year. It's all about business. She wants to end her year the correct way, which is with the NCAA championship, not a second round exit. Yeah, that being said, and they're fully capable of doing it. Talked about that last week, but that's not what we're about to talk about now. We're moving on. Look, we got a schedule we're going to stick to. We told you we had a lot going on in tonight's show. We'd like to welcome Mr. Emmanuel Benton to our show for the first time in forever, man. What's going on, Manny?
Yeah, what's going on, brother?
We're good, man. We're good. Octavian out here, ready to bother you and pester you and talk to you about all things Redskins, sir. And shout out to your new show, That Endeavor, which I wish everybody would tune into. I think it's so awesome. It's a wonderful learning tool. Whether you like the Redskins or not, he will learn you something about football. It is great. Love the film study. Give him a follow. And I think I'm done with my shameless plug for Mr. Manny Benton.
I think I got everything. Man. Hey, congratulations on your new show, man.
Hey, look, man, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so big win for Washington this week. We went into the week, a lot of people worried about Mr. Trent Williams not being available due to suspension. Some up and down play by the team thus far this year. Gotten a glimpse. We've had flashes to see what they possibly could be if they were consistent. So just how big was it? Because you're going to have the naysayers that go, well, all you did was beat a reeling Minnesota team. You're going to have other folks that go, well, the Vikings started off 5-0 and it was a good win, and obviously all wins are good wins. Mm-hmm. So what's your initial reaction to the Redskins getting that win on Sunday?
Well, I think it's a needed win because you beat an NFC team that still statistically is one of, when you're looking at the playoff race, they have a record that was up there among some of the leaders in the NFC. So I think that it's a game that they needed to win, and it was a good thing that they did win it. I think in Washington,
I think fans, they do kind of dissect the win a little more. I don't know how other teams do, but I know fans in Washington, man, they can dissect a win all the way down where you're thinking that it's a loss. And, this was a game where they could have lost it, and they really could have dominated it. They had a chance to early in the game. And, like a lot of times they end up doing is where they just allow teams to come back and score quick points on them, and but they were able to put it out, and at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. So I think it was a big win for them.
All right, so you're talking about how great to detail Redskins fans can dissect any win or any loss. Heading into, you were officially in the second half of the season. We saw them kind of take off last year in the second half of the season. We saw Preston Smith have a huge day, and the funny thing with Preston Smith is a lot of folks took it as that game was just the first big game he's had this year. Obviously, big game in terms of those game-changing plays, but I want to, like you said, that's your boy, and I'm with you too. I think it's a little unfair to make it seem as if he's done nothing literally all year.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with you, man, and I'm sure you've seen what I've seen as well, where not all the time can you judge a pass rusher on when he actually gets home and gets that stat of a sack. He was generating pressure. I think, like I've mentioned before, the first game of the year against the Steelers, he could have at least had 3 sacks in that game. But we're talking about one of the most elusive quarterbacks in the league. And it was a couple of weeks after that where I think he was one of the top pass rushers on the team on the field that day, and he didn't really get home. But he created a lot of pressure that affected the game in different ways. So sometimes you have a pass rusher who may not get the stats, but he's affecting the game in a different way. As you can see on Sunday, he was finally able to get the stats, get those freakish plays, and, fans can finally, wrap their head around the fact that this guy is legit. And, and you have to realize, man, he's still a raw player. He still has a lot of learning to do, but the sky is the limit. And I've just watched him grow, and I can tell you for a fact, man, that locker room adores that guy. If there's one young man in that locker room that team really tries to root for, it's Preston Smith. And they were electric after that game on Sunday. So that just goes to show you the type of potential that everybody can see he has, and it was good to see him finally get those stats Sunday.
All right, and like you said, that's your boy, that's our boy. We were geeking about him when he got drafted, and every once in a while we do talk about that. And as you said, it was good to see him do that. And shout out to some other members of the Redskins defense they've been between the offense and defense. It's fair to say that the defense has been the most consistent amongst the two, where they've been the more closer to solid, and they don't really get the credit that they deserve for it. It's hard to play defense in this league right now.
Right.
It's incredibly hard. Like, we talking about Arizona being one of the better defenses, Seattle being one of the better defenses. You saw the score in New England-Seattle game from a box score view. You go, how can you be a top defense if you gave up 20 odd points? Well, people score. People score. These are different breeds out there right now. So, as it pertains to Kirk Cousins, I was thinking maybe we wouldn't bring it up, but we got to. We wouldn't be, you're on the phone. It wouldn't be right to talk about the Redskins without talking about Kirk. So he's at the helm of possibly one of the most explosive offenses in the league, especially in the passing game. That being said, do you foresee him going on the type of tear he had last year in the second half?
I think he has the opportunity to. The way the schedule is lining up, it looks like he could. And, he played well on Sunday, and he's played well really the past few games. And so it seems like he's really kind of going on a streak right now. He's one of those streaky quarterbacks that when he's hot, and when he's not really hot at all. So I could definitely see him streaking down the season and continuing to have success.
All right, Octavia, you had any Redskins questions, or you got NFC East questions?
No, I'm just surprised just because, just in an NFC East standpoint, I don't remember the last weekend when all 4 teams won. So, that's kind of the part that's throwing me off. Not throwing me off, but, because, for the past couple of years, the NFC East has been called the NFC least. So, even though I'm biased, of course, to my
Very.
team, but it's nice to see that the East has finally, kind of stepped it up and kind of got it together, at least for now.
The beast is back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're balling, and I mean, it's young players at helm that's really doing it. I mean, you got Dallas, got the young quarterback Prescott. You know, you got Wentz in Philly, and you got some young receivers in New York that's doing some good things. So, yeah, I think this is a division that's going to be back and be back for a while.
Oh my goodness! Before you leave, I can't. We have to do this. Jamison Crowder, dude. Jamison Crowder.
Didn't we talk about him though?
Hey, look, man. You said what?
I said, didn't we talk about him in the summer, man?
Hey, look, man. I wish people you guys don't know how much I wish you guys could hear the private conversations that I had between the smart people that I know and me. Because there's a really intelligent side to those conversations, which I wish I could share with all of you. My side of it, I'm glad you guys can't hear that part. But yes, saw Manny at the Amputee Softball Classic, and we were giddy about the possibilities of Jamison Crowder in the second year. And Manny, the floor is yours.
Man, he's a dog, man. And to me, this year, he's been the number one receiver on the team. I don't care what people say about what a number one receiver is defined as. I don't care if you're going to define him as an outside receiver, of a tall guy who can make plays downfield. No, Jamison Crowder, even from being a slot receiver this year, has been the team's best receiver, most consistent receiver. I mean, he's been an absolute dog. He leads the team in touchdowns. He leads the team in yards and in receptions. I mean, what more can you ask for? And, and I think the sky's the limit with him, too. And I think if you look at it, man, this guy, I was reading back an old scouting report from a guy I really respect, Bucky Brooks, that scouts for the NFL
Bucky,
Network.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and he compared him back in college to, and I'm just throwing his name out here, to an Antonio Brown. So I'm not saying that he's going to be Antonio Brown, but I'm just saying from that standpoint, if you just look at how he's playing right now, and look at the potential of Deshaun Jackson or Pierre Garçon, either one of them or both of them leaving in the offseason, I'm pretty sure they're going to have to use him, Jamison Crowder, outside some and move him around some. And I think he's going to have a lot of success where you're going to be looking at it and saying, man, this guy could be a poor man's Antonio. So, man, I'm so impressed by the way he's played this year. I have a fascination with guys with good feet,
man.
And he's put that on display this year for real, man.
Man, his feet work is exceptional.
Yes.
Exceptional, and that's why, again, I'm glad that you gave the disclaimer that you're not saying he's Antonio Brown, because we know people don't always listen well.
Right.
They just hear the name and run with it.
So I'm going to just back up my man Manny on this. From a footwork standpoint, the young man has a chance to be in that echelon. From purely from a footwork standpoint, there's a reason this kid's always open. Yeah. There's a reason he leads all those categories that Manny just shared. And a lot of that has to do with what's the most important part of getting open as a wide receiver? Your feet.
Your feet, yeah.
His feet work is so clean. And it's not like people don't want to keep him from getting the ball, because he's moving the chains. If he's leading the team in these categories, pretty sure people are kind of sort of game planning for him.
Right. And real quick, somebody had asked me the question about how would he fare against number one wide receivers.
Fine.
Go back and watch the Detroit Lions game and watch what he did to Darius Slay, and that'll rest your case right there. And we're talking about one of the top 10, top 15 corners in the game in Darius Slay, and he broke the guy's ankles.
Dude, again, this is akin, and again, I'm going to throw out another name, not saying he's T.Y. Hilton, but it's akin to, you wonder why some of these guys, those shorter, shifty guys, have such success with those long, lanky corners. You can't bend that quick.
Right.
You can't go in two directions at once at 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". Once you miss with your hands, it's over. As soon as they get you to cross, it's over. Soon as you're not going to open up as easy as someone that low to the ground. It's over. People have been trying to stop Antonio Brown for the last 4 or 5 years. Just saying. He still finds a way to accidentally be open.
Yeah.
A lot. A lot. And it's not like people aren't trying. But, Manny, we want to thank you so much for calling in, man. We truly appreciate it. This is going to be the first of many times, and I'm so happy to have you call in for your first appearance right here on The Focus. And tell everybody, we already told them about Breaking Burgundy, but more importantly, man, what you do with the Manny Benton Show. When's the next episode coming out, man?
Well, I'm getting ready to record it tonight. I'm still finishing up some film. As you can see, it's a little late, so I always normally record it late at night. So I'll have it up tomorrow morning for you guys to listen. And basically what I do is I just go through the 4 quarters of the game, and I pick, on each drive. Sometimes I may skip a drive, but I try to break down some important plays on each drive. And, at the end of the show, I give you the top names and top standout players or people who didn't stand out in the game.
So how about that? What you can do tomorrow is when you wake up, you can go ahead and if you're not following Manny already, please do so. Manny, tell them where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, @Manny_Benton. I'm always open to discussions, man. I most times don't ignore questions.
No problem. And after you follow Manny, it would be very easy for you guys to see it. I'm going to retweet it anyways. You're going to see it retweet on My Model Sports. It's going to be retweeted on The Focus, the Manny Benton Show. And after you check that out, you take that listen right there. For all of you who are listening tonight that aren't viewing, or if you like our show so much that you want to watch it twice, that's cool. Bring a friend. Buddy system always works. You can watch this show again tomorrow. It'll be up tomorrow on our separate YouTube accounts, both at My Model Sports and Finest Magazine. And real quick, from Cardell Dudley, he would have loved to come on tonight. The service, this is the fun part of being on the road and being in the gym all the time. The service where he was at was horrible. Mm-hmm. Couldn't call in. We held the fort down for him, and we look forward to having him back next week. But Manny, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, man.
Anytime, man. Your family, brother, so anytime.
Hey, look, and just because you have the space, you got to tell them about your family shop real quick, man. Got to.
Oh, man, Stark and Legham, Bowie Town Center. We originated in Norfolk, Virginia. Come out, man. We sell from anything from hats to shoes to suits. It's a haberdashery. We have it all for you there.
All right, man. Just like I said, one time for the one time. We family. Got to get you to do that real quick.
Thank you, man.
And I love the hats, man. My head's too big for the hat, so I can't wear it. So, I live vicariously through you. But you have a blessed one, man, and I'm sure we'll talk once or twice this week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Man, thank you so much. All right, everybody. I was Manny Benton from formerly of Pro Players Insider, currently at Breaking Burgundy, and more importantly at the Manny Benton Show. So, look, we getting through stuff tonight.
I know.
I told y'all we had a lot going on, and we're doing that. If you heard the button pushing, that was me struggling with the phone lines of how to hang up. I told you I'm going through it, man. Like it's still like, even though this is something we've been doing for a while, it's still new.
Yeah.
So there's like an added rush to it still, and I'm still struggling. But we're gonna check to see if we have any tweets from you guys. We do want to say thank you to Coach Brian Johnson because he already tweeted us.
Yes.
And he tweeted, "Thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure speaking with you both. PGCC basketball, hashtag episode 2, hashtag Owls Nation." So I love the hashtag episode 2.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to keep that. And for all of you, again, we want to get you guys going. Like, we can do stuff with your Instagram videos, do stuff with your tweets. So Octavia's gonna bother you guys from now on throughout the week to get y'all to tune in and interact. And even if it's something that you respond to on like Wednesday, we'll probably mess with you. We'll probably bring it up the following Tuesday.
Yeah.
It can be Tuesday
likely.
at 10 p.m. We'll talk about it next Tuesday during that section. So that's your section of the show. I just want you guys to step up and claim that part of the focus for yourselves. We're going to take that time to literally focus, pun intended, on what's bothering you guys sports related. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, it might be that time of the show. It might not.
My favorite part.
And what favorite part is that?
The Petty Eddie segment.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. You're listening and watching The Focus TV right here on Bliss.fm.
You can get it, you can get it. we can hit it, flip it, spin it. We in it until we win it, yeah. And baby, I'm gon' love ya. Kiss all over, touch and rub ya too. Baby, but baby, you be driving me so crazy. One day I'll call you my lady, maybe. But right now we ain't worried about that. Just wanna see you bounce it, bring you right back to me. The way you do me, it's insane. The pleasure before pain. How can I maintain? Just keep making you rain. I heard you were wild one, it makes it need to come and tame ya. Girl, I won't stop, and I'ma rock that till the neighbors come knocking. You're climbing on top of me, and you're fiending. You're saying you need it. Baby, you can get it. You can get it. Baby, you can get it. You can get it. Baby, you can get it. You can get it. You can get it. You can get it.
Okay, shout it bad, shout it.
Welcome back to the Focus.
To the Focus.
Hey, look, Octavia sit here looking at me like, if
Gave
you
him the
say,
side eye.
hey, look, she's like, if you say my mind on sports one more again, I'ma tell Cardell.
Right, don't you worry.
That's where we at. We dry snitching now. That's where we at.
I didn't say anything.
I thought we were gonna be. I thought we were in a good
I
place.
plead the fifth.
You know what? You got it. What's going on, Eddie?
What's going on, guys?
Man, nothing. What's going on is your time of the show. So, you know, the floor is yours. We just wanted to say hello real quick to everybody that's tuning in. If this is your first time, this is the Petty Eddie portion of the show. This is where we close things down. So Octavia and I will kindly say goodnight to you all. And the floor belongs to Mr. Petty Eddie.
Thank you, sir. First off, shout out to Manny Benton and the PGCC head coach Brian Johnson for the excellent interviews. Episode 2, making history with us. So we appreciate that. Shout out to you guys. Hopefully we have you on some more often. Now we're getting petty. First off, I'm going to start off the same way I did last week. Jerry Jones, do not put Tony Romo in. Dak Prescott is rolling. Him and Zeke, you can put them in Rookie of the Year conversation and MVP conversation. And Tony Romo today, well, shout out to you because you pretty much conceded saying, hey, it's Dak's job. It doesn't mean I don't want to play, but he's done well. Jerry Jones, please do not screw that up. Do not screw that up. You will be an idiot if you do. The things that this kid is doing alongside his backfield mate, Ezekiel Elliott, are incredible. We haven't seen something like this in quite some time in the NFL, and it's great to see. Octavia, I know you don't like the Cowboys. You're an Eagles fan. But it's great when the Cowboys are winning in prime time all the time because that's what the talk is. And we don't have to hear about your Eagles, which they won, but that's neither here nor there. So, Jerry Jones, do not put Tony Romo in just because you feel bad for him because he's been your boy for the past decade plus. Don't do it. Next up on the agenda, a couple of NFL head coaches that have got to go. Their time has run its course, and it's over. But one coach should be after the season. The other coach probably won't be. The first coach I'm going to talk about, Marvin Lewis, you've got to go. You are below mediocre. I mean, you have a decent record of 113, 94, and 3. But in the playoffs, you're 0-7. You cannot get your guys to find a way to win. You guys are 3-5-1 on the season, the Bengals are. That's pathetic, especially when they play in probably the worst division in football this year, the NFC North. Or the AFC North, excuse me, the AFC North. Trash division. How do you have a job since 2003? I don't get it. Since 2003, you've been the head coach, and year after year, no matter if you win division titles, you make it in the wild card, you can't win a playoff game. You're 0-7. Yet here you are still with a job. Now, let me say I don't condone anyone getting fired or being without a job, but it's time for someone else to get a chance at the Bengals. I mean, he has a mediocre at best quarterback who will wow you in the first half and make you want to rip your hair out in the second. So that combo has to go. Someone else needs to get in there. Definitely time for Marvin Lewis to get out. Second coach that needs to get out, but probably won't, is the fellow AFC North head coach, Mike Tomlin. The Steelers are struggling lately, lost 4 in a row. And Big Ben called them out for not being disciplined and accountable enough. And that comes from the head coach. That's all on Mike Tomlin and his coaching staff. If you don't have your guys ready to go,
and you're not practicing the way that you're going to be playing games, that's not good. Your record against sub-500 teams on the road since 2014 is trash. You're one of the most storied franchises in history, but that doesn't win you games. Winning games is being disciplined and being held accountable for your actions and being put in the right position to play and win. Not doing that, that's unacceptable for the Steelers fan base, which I don't care because I'm a Browns fan. I don't care. I want to see them lose every game. But that's neither here nor there. Mike Tomlin, you have got to go. But you won't go because the Rooney family will not let you go. They love longevity with their head coach. They've had 3 coaches since the 70s. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, now you. You've got to go, though. You completely turn that franchise around. Sure, you might win 10, 11 games a year, but you haven't won a Super Bowl in 7 years. The team with the most Super Bowls in history that their fan base loves to brag and boast about, it's been long in between since we've last seen the Steelers hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Sure, they went in 2011, lost to the Packers. Mike Tomlin, you have to go. Your defense is trash. They had one job. Don't let the Cowboys get in field goal range. After you guys just went ahead, after you let Ezekiel Elliott score to preserve time. One job, and you failed. Your defense is trash, and that comes from the coaches. A couple weeks ago, we saw the botched Rabona kick on the onside attempt. Trash. Who lets their kicker go out and do that? Sure, the special teams coach probably ordered it, but Mike Tomlin has to agree to it. No other excuse for it. Ridiculous. If they miss the playoffs this year, he has to go. A lot of their fan base wants him out. They think that he's not doing the job, and he's not. That's simply put it. He's not doing the job. He needs to go. Another coach in the AFC North, Hugh Jackson, what were you thinking last week? Yes, the Browns are trash. They're my squad, but they're trash this year. Haven't won a game, 0-10. Last week, led the Ravens 7-6 at halftime. Cody Kessler did a fine job, 98 yards passing, no interceptions, avoided the sacks, was making plays, even threw a touchdown pass. Yet in the second half, out comes Josh McCown. For what reason? No one knows. Hugh Jackson, you said that the answer was they were loading up the box and forcing Kessler to throw deep. Let him throw deep. You raved about this kid since drafting him in the 3rd round. 1 round before Dak Prescott, so there's that. But you raved about this kid, then you want to give him a chance, and then you take that chance away from him. He's never going to learn and progress if you have a leash on him. It's just that simple. So what were you thinking? The Ravens scored 22 unanswered. The Browns lost their 10th in a row. I can't even be mad at it anymore because if we get the number 1 pick, hopefully we don't screw it up. You don't screw that up either. And Wilson, I talked to you earlier about this. Your UConn men, I know it's early and it's only 2 games, but through 2 games, trash. Losing to Wagner and Northeastern. Teams like UConn should not lose to Wagner and Northeastern. But I hope the UConn men's players had fun running in practice. Because that's what Kevin Ollie made them do, probably, is just run. That's a trash performance to start the season. But the bright side is, luckily we got them out of the way now, and not in the tournament, or not when it mattered most. But Wagner, Northeastern, come on, man. One last thing. Don't talk about it, be about it. Don't tell the world what you're going to do. Don't broadcast it to everyone. Just go about your business and do it. If you're proud of your work, let it show through that. If people like it, they'll tell you about it. If they don't like it, they'll tell you about it. But when you tell everyone else about it, spoiler alert, they don't care. They do not care at all, no matter if they're your best friends or people that you barely even know. They don't care. Just do what you do. Be proud in the work you do. And that's that. So, with that said, I'll be closing the show, and I want to thank you all for listening, whether you tuned in to listen or you watched live. We appreciate it. Episode 2 of The Focus. Be sure to follow us on and interact with us on social media. On Twitter for Finance Magazine, and that's Finance_Magazine on Instagram. At My Mind on Sports on both Instagram and Twitter. At The Focus_TV on Twitter, and at The Focus TV, all one word, on Instagram. Make sure to follow my personal account, KingEdward15, and this segment's account, Petty Eddie, at Petty_Eddie15, both on Twitter. Be sure to interact with us. Tweet me things that you're petty about, or that you would like to be petty about, or want me to be petty about. Tweet the site. Make sure you interact with us.
Wilden said Octavia's going to be blowing you guys up this week. She's going to. She needs to get writing, but that's for a different story. Yeah, be sure to interact with us on Twitter. Tune in same time, same place next week. Thank you for listening.
That's a hell of a question. Let me give you a second. I'll wait. Go and take a few guesses. You just trying to stay relevant. In the club, getting hella bent. The streets made me a monster. And my balls, this has an elephants.